Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the live stream. Listen, guys, this is not going to be a pleasant live stream for you guys to listen to. This is an urgent warning if you live in the United Kingdom, guys. Okay, I've said this before. I'll say it again. I will keep saying it. Get out now. Nothing good is coming. And if you're not going to get out now, if you don't have the means, if you don't have the financial faculties, then prepare for the end. What do I mean by the end? The end of it. What is it? Whatever we are going through it right now, guys, okay? This has to come to an end. Now, whatever that end is, it will happen. That's an inevitability, guys. They're laws of physics, all right? Everything that has a beginning has an end. Now, whether we are all eating bugs, owning nothing and being happy, or whether we have actually managed to break out of this ridiculous planet and start to explore the cosmos, I don't know right now, guys. But what I do know is things are getting worse by the day in the United Kingdom. I turned on my X feed this morning. In fact, you know what, guys? I'm just going to give you my X feed right now. And like the amount of if you live in the United Kingdom right now, guys, another day, another gang, another 12, 13-year-old girl, another Sudanese man, another woman, another one of these women in dark alleys. Every day, ladies and gentlemen, it's uncontrollable. And like the data overload now, it's gone beyond a critical mass. There is no going back, ladies and gentlemen. There is no going back now if you live in the United Kingdom. There's nothing that's going to come and stop and save people. So like I said at the beginning of this live stream, guys, okay, this is an urgent warning. If you're living in the United Kingdom, you've got the means, get out now. If you don't have the means, then prepare to, batten down the hatches and prepare for the end. What do I mean by the end? It's got to come to an end at some point, guys. Now, whether we're all living in 15-minute cities, people are just taking our firstborn child away and we're never seeing that because that's the new normal now. That's the new normal. I don't know, guys, but what I can tell you is some deep, dark force is trying to break the United Kingdom, and it does look like they're succeeding. Earlier on, I did a live stream, and I can't share it. Earlier on, I was on I wasn't on the live stream earlier, guys. I'm on the live stream now. Earlier on, I did a video on TikTok, and I was talking about a meme I saw, like today. There's this argument, and I think it's been done intentionally, where people are saying, oh, these migrants coming over on dinghies are not the problem. It's the billionaires in yachts. And I'm like, yeah, guys, look, both are true. Both statements are true. So you know what I always say, like when I say, like, the two people looking at the guys, listen, can you like, comment, share, subscribe, bell notification, all those things? Try and share this video to someone who needs to see it, guys, okay? If you're 50-50 right now and you're thinking, do I leave the United Kingdom or should I stay or should I go now? If you're like that, get out, guys. Nothing good's coming to the United Kingdom. And it is death by 1,000 swords. It really is, guys. Penny by penny, inch by inch, pound by pound, we are funding our own demise. We've seen this now. You guys have seen it. We've been talking about it for such a long time. Anyway, the meme I was talking about, ladies and gentlemen, I know I'm wild this morning, guys. I'm really caffeinated. What I was talking about is, the meme where Blinska. Right. The meme that I've been talking about where one guy's seeing the cylinder, one guy's seeing the square. That is exactly what we're talking about here, guys. Oh, it's the billionaires on yachts that are the problem. It's a circle. No, it's the migrants coming over on the boats. It's a square. Right, guys, you need to look at what's happening. The billionaires on the yachts are funding the migrants coming over because when the migrants come over and the country's absolutely destroyed, they're the ones who are controlling the housing, they're the ones controlling the food, they're the ones controlling the water, and they're the ones controlling the energy. So those guys are going to get rich. Do you think they care about you? Do you think they care about you, the little people? I mean, honestly, guys, I'm not going to lie. I don't think they do. Do you think these people sat on the mega yachts that are making absolute... There's an article about the Britain's first migrant billionaire. He's a guy, he's been putting migrants in hotels. He's now a billionaire. He's had £1 billion in profit. That's profit. So he's earned £1 billion by destroying the United Kingdom, by putting these migrants in hotels, providing them food, water, security, heating, only the best for our migrants in the United Kingdom, guys. This South Sudanese man, who did the, I can't even say because I'm on TikTok and I get the live stream banned, but the South Sudanese man, allegedly, he was laughing and dancing in court. Guys, you cannot make this stuff up. yes, people are making a ton of money off the migrant crisis. Yes, the migrants. Look, guys, I don't see, well, maybe they are, I don't know. I don't see billionaires in droves following girls home from school. I don't see billionaires, coming off their yachts and trying to, no, they get them shipped in. Look, guys, what I'm getting at here is something I said before on that video. Can you imagine if you're a combat unit, military combat unit, and you're in a gunfight? Let's just say in Iraq 2003, or you know what? No, let's just say you're Ukrainian, right? The Ukrainians on the front line and they're fighting the Russians, right? They're fighting the Russians. Vladimir, we need to put suppressing fire down onto bunker. Vova, no, this Russian not real problem. Real problem, Vladimir Putin, because his political policies, he is expansionist leader. Oh, okay, right, let's not worry about it. No, of course, both systems are true, guys. Both aspects are true. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that's what we're going to be talking about today. I am, in a second, guys, I'm just going to go through my X feed. I'm going to go through my X feed, guys, and it really is every day another, like, it's not even another day, guys. It's every day now. It's three or four different articles. Girl 14 drugged, girl 13 drugged, girl 8, girl 10. Woman dragged into corridor. It's unbelievable. Ladies and gentlemen, can you guys wait there? I've just got to nip off. I'm just gonna jump off screen, guys, because I had a call. Then I don't know if it's important or not. Give me a second. I'll make it now, and I'll just be off screen. Give me a second, guys. Why? Right, no worries. I'll see you later. So my mum ringing me up, telling me not to ring her. I'm all right, thanks, mum. Anyway, guys, I'm just gonna go off my X feed now. I'm just gonna give you these headlines, guys. Okay. Right. The damage is done here in the United Kingdom, guys. Okay, I will come onto the chat in a second. Eastern European grooming gang, vulnerable teenage girls as they met girl 14 by a gang. Girl was, the thing, by members of her own father. Her father, mother, and brothers and grandfather and uncle are all found guilty. This is just from my X feed, guys. They're hiding in the shadows, waiting for drunk women or a gullible child. 33-year-old Victor Samo, jailed for 13 years. Like every day you open this feed up, guys, and there are the gangs, the masses of gang, it's just unbelievable. CCTV shows Sudanese illegal migrant following Rihanna before at the station. All you need to do is look at the news, guys. It's just crazy, absolutely insane. Right, guys, look, this is alleged now. This is alleged, right? So the girl who's going through the courts at the moment, it doesn't seem like it's getting much media attention. Allegedly, I have to say allegedly now because I can't find any mainstream media outlets talking about this. Allegedly, right, this guy, after he'd done the deed, was seen dancing and laughing. So that's why I have it, guys, and we're paying for this. You know what? Not only are we paying for this, we're saying we don't want this, and we are paying for this. It's unbelievable, guys. So listen, here's a question. Here's a question for you guys. Have you seen the video? Have you guys seen the video yesterday of, was it yesterday? I can't remember when it was. I think it was yesterday. Have you guys seen the video yesterday in Gaza? All right, you guys seen the video yesterday in Gaza. Again, I can talk about this because this has been verified now by the BBC. So the BBC have verified this. There's a video circulating on social media of Hamas carrying out street executions. That video's out there, guys. I can talk about that and I can say that because that's been, you know, the BBC are saying that. So I'm just repeating what the BBC said. Have you guys seen that video? Okay. These guys doing executions on the street. They've got people down in front of them on their knees. All right. They come up behind them and Calibaduma, those guys are Doomer. That's the reality, right? You guys have seen that video. I don't know if you have or not. It's out there. It's on X. It's circulating. The BBC have verified it. So those guys have got masks, okay? Those guys have got masks. Here's a question for you guys. You know how here in the United Kingdom, we're taking Gazan refugees and their families to continue their studies in our universities? You know how we're doing that? We're paying for that. We got you guys. We got you. Could it be, ladies and gentlemen, do you think there's any likelihood that one of those people who did that thing, what I've just spoke about, could find their way back to the United Kingdom? I would say there's a strong likelihood, guys, you know, whether that is through some NGO who's, I mean, look, guys, there's no accountability here right now. This is a war zone. This is wild. People are wearing masks. There's no accountability. So could it be that one of those people, you know, who just committed that, I'm going to say it's a crime. I'm going to say that was a crime. I'm going to say that is a crime, guys, you know, begins with M, ends in D, spelt backwards. It's red rum. That's what I would say it is. Now, do we think those people could find their way into the United Kingdom? Not only find their way into the United Kingdom, be welcome to the United Kingdom. Welcome, welcome to the United Kingdom. Here's some money. What, you don't want it? Right, okay. Go into that house. Oh, what? You're not happy there, right? Go, that's what, and we're funding this, guys. I'm so annoyed, guys. I don't even have words anymore. I don't even. I really struggle. It's absolutely insane. Absolutely insane, guys. You know what's happening. We are paying for this ourselves. Look, guys, I'll keep repeating this. If you live in the United Kingdom, get out now because nothing good's coming. Right. I'm going to get the TikTok chat. I will then jump over to YouTube. But don't worry, ladies and gentlemen. The bad news does not stop there because guess what we've got to look forward to? More taxes. Taxes, shalibidaxes. Guys, lots of people joining. Welcome, guys. Welcome, everyone. Guys, can you like, follow, subscribe, share my stuff, ladies and gentlemen? If you can share my stuff, I really appreciate that, guys. I do. I'm just going to jump down to the comments. D. Marie Gen X is saying good morning to you. Google it. Laurie C. Google is saying Labour is a bigger threat than anything the UK is facing. So that goes into like what we're talking about now, the who's behind Labour, who's funding Labour, where does Labour's money come from? It obviously comes from this cabal of very rich, very wealthy, very powerful people who do, I will agree, sit on super yachts, and they don't care, ladies and gentlemen. They don't care. Do you know why they don't care? Because they are not going to be affected. They're still going to be the people ruling the world. They're still going to be the people in charge, you know, and they're going to be the people earning all this money. These are the same people who will have been buying up, who will now probably, and I've got no inside information on, but these people will probably be buying up patches of land in Gaza, buying up patches of land in Ukraine. Some like there's parts of Ukraine. In fact, all of Ukraine's beautiful, but there are parts of Ukraine, guys, rolling countryside, mountainous regions that are absolutely beautiful. They'll be buying this up massively cheap now. Do you know why? To make more money. I would speculate they bought places in Baghdad, in Basra, you know, really beautiful parts of the world. Once these wars go in, they buy the land cheap, they build communities, and that's where they live. Do you think they're going to be bothered about like the crime rate in Doncaster or Newcastle? Like, do you think they're going to care about the you know, the inner city tensions in Manchester? Absolutely not. Jody Lee is saying, morning, everyone. Good morning to you, Jody Lee. UK must prepare buildings for 2 degrees. Okay, so the message here on TikTok is, I'll just pin it actually. UK must prepare buildings for 2 degrees C. I think that's 2 degrees C. It just says 2C. I know you can't get like, there's no little degrees button, is there, on your phones or whatever. UK must prepare buildings for 2 degrees Celsius rise in global temperature, government told. Look, guys, if you look at Milankovitch cycles, our weather goes up and down. It really does, guys. You know, the weather goes up and down. You know when the dinosaurs were cruising around, it was a lot hotter than it is right now, guys. It was a lot hotter. We know this from fossil records. We know this from ice core analysis. So were the dinosaurs driving like big V8s? I don't know. Maybe they were. Maybe the T-Rexes were driving big Mustangs with V8s. Lisu is saying, morning all. Google it is saying, Sean, I have to ignore you on leaving the UK. You'll see why. Oh, why is that? Look, guys, what I'm saying right now is if you have the means, and I know not everybody does, if you have the means, I would get out now, guys. I really would. I don't see anything good coming to the United Kingdom. Oh, and then Google is saying body returned by Hamas is not one of the Israeli hostages. Oh, God, can you imagine that? Look, guys. We are focusing today on the United Kingdom, on the absolute degradation and like, I don't even know what to say. Self-inflicted, because it is self-inflicted, guys, because we're paying for this. Like we are paying, like where's that money coming from? You know how the government are putting these people in hotels, building houses, putting people in private rented houses. Look, guys, I'm not going to mention who. I don't know if she's on. I had a lady. I had a young lady message me saying that her next door neighbour passed away, transcended to a beam of light, went to the nether, and they had a family. Well, what she actually said was it was just migrant men moved into the house next door. So, like, we know this is happening. You know, we know this is happening. So, who's funding that? Like, where's this money coming from? Coming from our tax money. We, you, me, like chickens, not chickens, like rabbits in headlights are just, oh, okay, I'll keep paying my taxes. I'll keep going to work. What, you want to tax me more? Okay, it's only £5. I can deal with another 5. Oh, it's only £10. Oh, okay. Oh, the cost of everything's going up. Oh, okay, I'll keep paying. Guys, look, I've got a friend actually. He just started working in Ukraine. He's selling up and he's moving out to Ukraine. I said, why? What? I said, how come, mate? He said, it's just better. I said, what do you mean? He said, well, it's cheaper, better quality of life. You're not scared on the streets. I said, I know. I said, I was telling you this when he used to work in Congo. I don't know if he's on. Google it is saying all bad things come to an end. I see something good is coming out of this badness. Yeah, look, guys. Okay, so I don't know if Google it. I don't know if you was on at the beginning of the live stream. You know, what I said is, you know, get out now if you can. If you can't, which is my subject heading for YouTube, get out now. If you can't, prepare for the end. Now, what I mean by the end is this has to end at some point. This madness has to end. How it ends, I don't know, but it has to end at some point, guys. You know, it really does have to end at some point. And I don't know how that's going to end. Right, guys, I'm going to jump over to YouTube. Oh, hang on a minute. Donna is saying UK conscription. This act has imposed liability to conscript to all men aged 18 to 41 who are living in Great Britain. Right, let me Google this, guys. I may have to do this as a standalone. This is a standalone live stream. Right, is that under? Right, that is okay. So that is from the Second World War. Right, okay. I'm not getting it. That is not okay. Right, okay. Right, let's. Right, John Thistlethwaite is saying, Circle are doing this on purpose, putting these illegal immigrants in luxury houses and hotels, basically to wind the rest of the population as struggling to pay their way through life and buy food. Yeah, guys, look, I know I know that people are struggling. I know that you may be struggling. Do you know what? I would speculate that some of you guys watching are struggling. You know, struggling to put food on the table. And you know when you turn on your, your social media feed, and you see these like banquets with all these migrants laughing and throwing food away, and you're thinking, wow, I don't throw food away. I freeze food and then I have it as a snack, like in a couple of days or something like that. That's how we roll in our house. We don't throw any food away. You know, it's literally waste. And, you know, I understand this, guys. I totally understand this. And this is what I'm saying, guys, really, you know, nothing good is coming to the United Kingdom right now. It's going to get worse before it gets better. If you can't get out of the United Kingdom, you know, you're gonna have to prepare to weather the storm, because it will come to an end. Now, whether that's an end in 1 year, in 2 years, whether it's 20 years, at some point it will come to an end. Footlong, I can't call you Footlong Bong. I'm just going to call Footlong Bong Footlong. Footlong over on YouTube is saying, I'm sure Keir Starmer wants the UK to disappear off the map. He's going to run Britain to the ground. Well, look, guys, you know, we've got to understand this is not Keir Starmer's doing. Keir Starmer is a fall guy, he's a front guy. Do you think he has the cognitive capacity to understand what his actions are doing? I would say absolutely not. You've got to understand who's behind Keir Starmer, who's footing the bill, who's telling him not to resign. Priv Caro is saying, good morning. Norway put out a state budget today. They are making it more expensive to buy and own electric cars. Most rich people were buying them. The goal is how many to buy them were met. Look, guys, electric cars, they're going to be gone in like maybe, like, we're going to look back at electric cars and think, wow, what were we all thinking? Like, literally, you know, what were we all thinking with regards to electric cars? You know, there isn't enough rare earth materials to produce those batteries. You need to be able to produce that fuel on board, and hydrogen is the future, guys. Hydrogen production, whether that's hydrogen via, you know, whether that's hydrogen combustion, as in like an internal combustion engine, but you burn hydrogen, or whether that is hydrogen fuel cells, whereby you convert hydrogen to electricity. I don't know which one, maybe even a hybrid. Endeavour to Preserve, who's in America, is saying, your leaders are fools in the United Kingdom. They certainly are. We are currently watching the end of the establishment politicians. Tracy McKibbin, sorry, is saying George Soros said he has zero concerns on his this was an interview actually from quite a while ago. George Soros gave an interview, and George Soros, he causes civil unrest and he makes money from it. That's what he does. George Soros, have you seen his son? George Soros did an interview. This was a while back, the interview, and he was saying, you know, somebody asked him on the interview. They said, "Do you have any concerns about the what you're doing to countries and people's lives?" And he said, "Absolutely not. My only concern is making money." And you know what, guys? I think that's quite fair. I think he's quite fair in what he's saying. The real problem is, we let him do this. You know, it's like somebody coming into you and saying, you know, Tracy McKibbin, here's £10 if I can slap your kid. And you saying, £10, you say? Yes. Come on, then give us the money. You know, and then him slapping your kid and you complaining. You literally took, you know, he's making money off that. Hang on, guys. Let me just jump up. Linda is saying, my X feed has turned into a left propaganda machine. I don't really see all the accounts I follow anymore. Also, X has put a new category on their report function, report illegal activity in the UK. I've not seen that. I've not seen that. Destiny Workman, hello Destiny Workman, is saying, I love the United Kingdom. I do as well. Protesting, wearing flags about is doing, yeah, I agree. Look, so Destiny Workman here on YouTube is saying, I love the United Kingdom. Protesting, wearing flags waving flags about, sorry, I think he's autocorrect got him there. Waving flags about is doing nothing. We all need to come together and protect our girls and women and our country. I agree 100%, Destiny Workman, but the problem is we're shackled to our own financial doom. Like 90, I would say more than 90% of the country, they are earning, you know, they're going to work and they are literally living hand to mouth. So you get paid, you pay your bills, and that's it. You don't have the luxury of being able to take a year off work and sit pretty with whatever you know, just, you know what, I'm going to take a year off work. I've got enough money in the bank to pay my bills. I would say a lot of people don't have that flexibility. One of the things I always talk about, what did we talk about? The 5 Fs. Let me see if I can remember them. Food, fluid, finance, fitness, and something else. What was the other one? Food? I can't remember. Somebody put it in the comments, guys. But sorry, so Destiny Workman here on YouTube is commenting that people need to come. The problem is people are shackled to their jobs. People haven't broken free, you know, and like these taxes that are going to be here, guys, look, just as a show of hands, who thinks we're going to be getting taxed more? Who thinks we're going to be getting taxed more next month? What is it? 27th, I think, 27th of November. I forgot what month it was. So next month, Rachel Reeves, she's going to be doing a little tax thing. She's going to be doing a tax announcement. Who thinks we're going to get taxed more? Who thinks the cost of everything's going to go up? Or who thinks we're actually going to be better off? Who thinks Rachel Reeves is going to come up there and say, oh, we're actually better off now. We're actually better off. I'm going to reduce taxes. We're going to bring down VAT and we're going to slash the price of, I don't know, bread, cheese, chicken, ribeye, special ribeye tax relief for me, you know, and bring down the cost of living for everyone. Who thinks that's coming? Or who thinks there's going to be more taxes, more spending cuts, and more calamity? I think it's the latter. So now everybody's in survival mode, and it's happening. Like it's happening. You know, it's death by 1,000 cuts. So people now are struggling. You know, people are living hand to mouth. You get paid. You go to the supermarket. You buy your groceries. You come back. You pay your gas, your water, your electric bill, and you've got £3 left. You're like, right, okay, no worries. No worries, but guess what? Rachel Reeves is coming for that £3, and then you get taxed more. And you're like, oh right, okay, right. Look, it only works out an extra £10 a month. Well, I'll not buy this wine. I'll not buy that wine. I'll buy a cheaper wine. Right? You're cheaper. You lower it. So everybody now is lowering their living standards. That's where we are right now, guys. And people are just letting. Then the next time the tax cuts come, now you're on the shitty wine. Now you're on the shitty ribeye. Now you've gone from a half a kilo ribeye, like, you know, for eating 3 of them a day. You've gone to like eating a 227 gram ribeye 3 times a day. You're like, oh God, you know what? I'm gonna have to start. I'm gonna have to start having like chicken or something. Jesus Christ, I'm not gonna eat chicken. So, you know, the next time the tax cuts come, people are saying, right, okay, well, it's only £10. Well, it's not. It's another. That's £20 over the last 2 tax cuts. You've got less money in your pocket, and the cost of everything's gone up. So, but because it's happening slowly, people don't see this. You know, now those people who are going to consider going to a protest, you know what? They're not going to go to that protest because they've got to work overtime. They're not going to go to that protest because their company is taking ESG mandates, is taking ESG loans from these big banks because the government's destroyed all the smaller businesses. So all the smaller businesses can't operate now. So only the major corporations who are in late stage democracy, which is totally 100% intertwined with late stage capitalism, guys. Those things are synonymous, interchangeable. So those people now who work for the big corporations, if they get seen at a protest or something that the government claims or deems as far right, and they get tied back to that company is going to lose a shit ton of free money. So they're going to sack those people. So those people know they're going to get sacked, so they can't risk going out and protesting. They don't have the finances. We really have shackled ourselves, guys, to our own demise. Absolutely. absolutely shackled ourselves to our own demise, guys. Absolutely. Sorry, guys. I'm right. Hang on. Donna said some people are saying well said to Donna. Hang on. Hang on, guys. Okay, right. So super rude boy. Big up yourself, super rude boy. You're feeling me one time, fam. I think that's how super rude boy talks. Big up, so super rude boy on YouTube is sent me a message. I think this is how super rude boy talks. Big up, you feeling me, fam? One time, one love. I'm feeling you, Rob. I think that's how. I think that's how super rude boy 66 talks. Anyway, super rude boy 66 is saying, rather than spreading panic, what do you suggest people could do? I literally just said, I think people, if you've got the means if you've got the means, get out the United Kingdom, like literally go be gone. Like there are plenty of other parts of the world that are a lot cheaper, that have a better quality of life, and you don't have to worry about people chasing your kids home from school, going stabby, rammy, gassy, shooty, or blowy. That's the reality. There are plenty of other parts of the world. As we all know, it's a travesty what's taking place on the streets of the United Kingdom. That's what I suggest do. Leave the United Kingdom. If you can't leave the United Kingdom, you just have to understand what's happening. It's no longer safe to walk on the streets. It's no longer, it's no longer safe to go shopping at night. It's no longer safe if you're a woman to walk home alone. Understand these threats, and this comes down to I guess situational awareness. Situational awareness. Take Irena Zarutska. Irena Zarutska on the Irena Zarutska on the train on her way home. Guys, when I talk about Irena Zarutska, it's very difficult because my friend in Ukraine, he has a daughter a little bit younger than her, and they had to evacuate Ukraine. And I know that girl, Irena Zarutska. More the likelihood is she hadn't seen her father since 2022, because you know what? Ukraine was in war. All the men had to stay behind to fight the war. So you don't get any women and children refugees from Ukraine. You only get, you don't get any male refugees from Ukraine. They'll stay and fight the war, to protect their country and that they value and their land, how it should work. Obviously, these refugees that are coming over to the United Kingdom on boats, they're all the peaceful ones, right? They're the ones that we want, guys, because they're peaceful people. They don't want crime. They just want to live a peaceful life. They don't want to hurt anyone. They're just coming to our country because they're peaceful. They don't want to be in a war. That's the reality, guys. That's what we're being told anyway. So when we talk about it, Irena Zarutska, if she had situational awareness and understood that sitting right behind her was a potential threat, she'd still be alive right now. I tell the girls, I've told the girls for a long time, how to deal in those situations. If you're walking down a street and a certain man is following you, cross over the street. If he still follows you, you run. That's how you roll. You don't think, oh, I don't want to offend anyone. Do you know what? I bet Irena Zarutska would have felt better if she would have offended that person and moved away. I'm gonna suspect she would. What did Donna say? Donna is saying, all right, okay. Yeah, I'm just gonna. Yeah, well done, Donna. Hang on, guys. There's some comments here on TikTok. Sharon Owen is saying morning. So is Debbie 73. Luxford saying 100%. Loz Luxford is saying she will screw business owners with VAT. Guys, look, like small business owners right now. Look, guys, and this is all part of this like little swizzly dizzly plan. You can't really control those small businesses because a lot of small businesses, they operate at a scale that they don't need millions of pounds from banks. And as soon as you don't need millions of pounds from banks, you know, you're kind of on your own. You're making your own money. So there is a concerted effort, I believe anyway, to destroy small businesses in the United Kingdom. I mean, look at the amount of pubs that are going bust. Stu Hatcher's have faith, mate. She's for the people. So Stu Hatcher's saying, you know, not Renée Zarutzka, what's her name? Rachel from accounts is look, guys, we're all gonna be living in broad sunlit uplands on the beginning of December. Can you imagine how shit people are gonna be? Can you imagine how shitty people are gonna feel, guys? Like, you know, Stranger Things is gonna get released on the 27th of November. We're all gonna be watching that like this. Yeah. Well, that went well. You know, taxes are coming, guys. You know, taxes are coming. We all know that it's coming. Prepare yourself. Sharon Owen is saying there's nothing wrong with Chicken Wing Friday. It's still cheap. Oh, do you know what, Sharon? Me and my friends, we've got a thing for chicken wings. You know, it is the perfect snack to have with beer. So I'm a big fan of chicken wings, guys. I really am, and they are really cheap. Chicken wings are cheap, but it depends how you cook them. And you've got to have those chicken wings with beer, guys. You can't have chicken wings on their own. That's just weird. If you have chicken wings with anything but beer, it is a bit weird. It is a bit weird, guys. I'm not going to lie. Right, guys, listen, if you're joining for the first time and you're just jumping on, we are talking about the urgent warning I'm giving to everybody right now. I've given this warning before, and I think it's just as relevant today as it was when I first gave it. If you live in the United Kingdom, get out now. Nothing good is coming here in the United Kingdom, guys. It's really not. The migration, I don't even know what is it. Can I call it migration anymore? Every day you open your feed, every day you see headlines, you know, South Sudanese man, Congolese man, Romanian man, Romanian gang, Pakistani gang, Afghanistan man, you know, girl 13, girl 12, gangs. You know, it's just, why are we doing this to ourselves? Like, why are we doing this to ourselves? Why are we paying for this to happen? Like, can you imagine somebody knocking on your door? This is what's happening right now, guys. Can you imagine somebody, what guys, listen, what would you say to this? Somebody knocked on your door. Good afternoon, sir. How may I help you? Oh, I heard you've got a 12-year-old, you guys know what I'm talking about. I heard you are, oh, yes, we do. Oh, I'd like to savagely do something to that girl. Oh, well, okay, then here's some money. That's what we're doing. You know, that is literally what we're doing, guys. We're paying for this. And there's no way out of it. There isn't any way out of it, guys. You know, we are paying for this. We are paying for this with our tax money. Right, guys, I'm just going to get, right, guys, the comments are going absolutely bonkers at the moment on YouTube. Right, guys, we are triple streaming this morning, guys. I'm on YouTube, I'm on TikTok, and I'm on X. I will be closing, do you know what, guys? I'm going to close this live stream down on TikTok pretty early this morning because I can talk more freely over on YouTube. So I will be closing this live stream down, I think, in about like 5 minutes or something on TikTok, and then I'll be going over to YouTube, guys. If you don't follow me on YouTube, I'm the Real Raven 1 on YouTube, I'm the Real Raven 1 on X, and I'm the Real Raven 1 on TikTok. And the chat's open there, you know, the chat is open there, but I will get all the comments on the TikTok chat, guys. Okay, I don't have the capacity to get all the chat on YouTube because it is going absolutely wild, guys. The chat is going absolutely wild. Yeah, so what we're talking about now, guys, is just get out the United Kingdom if you can. Every day we're getting this, guys. You know, every day it's coming thick and fast. I am just going to talk about this real quick, guys, because this came out this morning. Chancellor Rachel Reeves admits tax raises and spending cuts. So there you have it, guys. You know, people are like, if you're like me and you're really worried about how much money you pay in tax, because these things do affect you. 1% here, 2% there, 5%, the cost of living. It all affects people. you know, and I was speaking to a good friend of mine, and he was saying, look, I don't know why I'm working anymore. I said, what do you mean? He said, well, I'm at a level now where all my money's spoken for. You know, literally every penny is spoken for. You know, that's mortgage, whether that's you know, he's got 2 houses. I know that's, you know, but he's got a house and a flat. It's a long story, but he has. So he's paying a mortgage on a house. He's paying a mortgage on a flat. He's got car finance, 2 cars on finance. You know, and he's saying, look, I'm just like, what am I getting out of this? You know, he's saying, like, if I was unemployed, you know, the government would give me somewhere to live, you know, and the government would give me some money, and I think I'd have a better quality of life. And that's the reality to a lot of people, and I think a lot of people are being pushed into that. A lot of people are just giving up, guys. They are. So speaking exclusively to Sky News' deputy political editor, Sam Coates, Rachel Reeves says Brexit, she's blaming Brexit, and Liz Truss have played a role in damaging Britain's economy as she prepares to deliver her second budget. So she's going to be blaming, I think she's in Dover actually. She's going to be blaming Liz Truss and Brexit for the reason why she has to raise taxes. You know, this is coming, guys. This is coming next month. We all need to get ready for this, you know, and no doubt there will be other swindingos before that. And, you know, and as soon as this tax thing's released, there'll be another headline and people will forget about it. But you know who's not going to forget about it? Those people who are living hand to mouth, trying to put money in their own, you know, trying to feed your kids. What do? You try and feed your kids? Do you feed your kids? Do you pay for that trip? Do you buy them school uniform? It's difficult for a lot of people, guys. It's difficult for a lot of people. Right, guys, I'm just going to get the last of the chat on TikTok. I will then be jumping over to YouTube. I'm closing it a little bit early on TikTok, guys, because I can talk freely on YouTube and I don't have to mind my P's and Q's. Tina is saying, morning all, over to YouTube we jump. Snowdrops is saying, they like to blame everyone else. Brexit was never fully in. No, guys, we didn't have Brexit. We did not have Brexit. Anybody who says we had Brexit does not understand Brexit. We never left the European Union. We had all the crap stuff. It just got worse. We had to keep all the bullshit that we wanted to get away from, but we just did, you know, we just tied ourselves up in red tape. We're very good at doing that as Britons. Right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to close this down now on, I'm going to close this down on TikTok. I'm going to jump over to YouTube. So if you're going to be watching me over on YouTube, guys, I'm the Real Raven 1 on YouTube. And if you're not going to be watching me over on YouTube, then I will be back on this evening at 8 or just before. And I'll see you guys later. Oh, by the beardos. Right, I can have my coffee now. I can have my coffee. Do you know the algorithm is so anal on, it's so bad on TikTok, guys. If I drink my coffee on the, like if I do this on the live stream on TikTok, I think some sugar's got in there. If I drink my coffee on the live stream on TikTok, it restricts me. It says alcohol, tobacco, and firearms. No, that's in America. You know, it tells me I'm not allowed, and like all the views go down because it kicks people off. It's insane. And I just really wanted to caffeinate myself, guys. I did. I really wanted to caffeinate myself, and now I have. Right, let's get some of these questions. James Coley is saying that's not even thinking about gas and electric. How are people going to afford energy bills because we're going to go into the winter and energy companies are... Yeah, look, we've got one of those. We've just had to... Our meter went... I had like one of the old meters, like I don't know, maybe 1970s, and I was like refusing to have a new one. And then all of a sudden one night, it just stopped working. All the electricity went. I phoned the company up and I said, look, you know, it's gone. And the guy came out and he said, look, I don't have another meter. I can put you this smart meter in. I can put you this smart meter in, or I cannot. He said, if I don't put you this smart meter in, you're not. So we've got a smart meter now. Honestly, that thing is like an anxiety machine. It's got like green, amber, red. And, as soon as you start going into the amber, you start to get anxiety. You're like, oh, God, oh, no, this little thing is turning. It's insane, guys. It's insane. But, yeah, it is crazy. Rachel stated NHS are doing preparedness training over the next 2 days, includes hazmat and war preparedness. Gareth Craig, hello Gareth Craig. I believe, is this the first time you've commented? And if it is, Gareth, welcome. You're most welcome. I hope you're going to be a regular on the channel. Gareth Craig is saying, I'm working 6 days a week, sometimes 7, as a small business owner, trying to keep my head above water. I'm dreading the next budget. I could grow my. Do you know what, Gareth? I know exactly how you feel, mate. I know exactly how you are operating. My sister's got a small business herself. My dad's just retired and he's moving to Spain. These budgets are destroying small businesses. Small businesses employ 60% of the population in the United Kingdom. So by destroying those small businesses, you're then forcing those people that are then in. And guys, look, what I've said previously, and it's true. We are now in a situation in the United Kingdom where we have more people searching for less jobs. And look, this is going to get worse. This is going to get worse as soon as people start to utilize artificial intelligence, automation. A shit ton of people are going to find themselves unemployed. So if you work behind a desk on a computer, preparing spreadsheets or something, if you work in a call center, answering the phone and reading off a script, if you work in logistics, in haulage, if you work as a taxi driver, a delivery driver, your job's gone. Your job's already gone. It's gone, finished, over, and it ain't coming back. This is going to happen exponentially. This is going to lead to universal basic income. It's going to lead to finance. There was I was watching, it was an episode of, did they do an X-Files movie? Did they do an X-Files movie? I don't know if this was a movie or not. There was an X-Files movie, or I think it may have been an episode, or it might have been like a special episode. You guys can remember like Mulder and Scully. It was an episode that aired in 2016. And this guy comes up and he explains in 2016 what's happening now. And you know what? It was really funny because the guy who was explaining it, he said, yes, it will start on a Friday when the banks have closed. And I was like, yeah, that's exactly what I say. But yeah, listen, Gareth Craig, I totally feel for you, mate. All I can say is try and weather the storm. If you're watching this channel, then you're ahead of most people. You understand what's coming. And if you can see what's coming, you can try and, mitigate against it. If you take if you take a few truths, the government is trying to destroy small businesses, because if small businesses are allowed to operate, the government can't control those small businesses. They can control the big businesses. They can financially control them. And a lot of big business are in bed with big government. We have, synonymously, we have late stage democracy and late stage capitalism. They're working hand in hand. The financial system, as we know it, is broken, guys. It needs something new. And that new thing is going to be universal basic income. And that's either going to be Bitcoin or crypto pound or I don't know. Like you get an app on your phone and you'll be able to pay with that, and you get that free money, but you can only pay to businesses that have registered, that have got the correct diversity requirements or whatever. And that's where we're going, guys. That is really where we're going. Now, again, this has been marketed as like, this has been marketed as what's the word I'm looking for? Convenient, a better way of living. I'm good. I'm good. I don't want more convenience. I want more control. I want to be in, I want to be in control of, I want to be in control of my life. Rachel McClelland is saying 2 weeks ago there was a foreign national on a bus where I live who had a machete on the bus, and the driver let him on as he was too scared to do anything about it, as it would look racist. Yeah, have you seen that guy? You know the guy, I don't know, he's a black guy and he's on the train, or he's on a tube. I don't know whether he's a train or a tube. And he strips his pants off and he's standing there with his junk out. It's pixelated, guys. I don't know if he's got like sufficient junk or not. I just know he's got his junk out. And the two guys that dragged him off the coach, or whatever it was, they're the guys now who are going into having to go through the courts for assault. Deepest, darkest secret room. Hello, deepest, darkest secret room. I like your thumbnail. You've got a cup of coffee like me. Deepest, darkest secret room is saying UBI, Universal Basic Income, will likely have different names. Fair, yeah, it may have different names. Will likely have different names, but its framework and infrastructure will be based on a worldwide digital ID and control system. Yeah, I think so as well. It will have different names. I don't think they're going to call it Universal Basic Income. They might call it, I don't know, free cash. I don't know what they'll call it, but yeah, I think they may have different names for it. Over time, it may be called Universal Basic Income. Oh, there's been a lot of studies about Universal Basic Income. There was a study in the United Kingdom, I think 30 people in the United Kingdom. There was a 2-year study in the United. Look, guys, this is real. When I give you guys this information, a lot of it's from the top of my head. So I do apologize. I may be getting the particulars slightly wrong about this, guys, but go and Google this yourself. So there was a study in the United Kingdom that came to an end I think like the summer, this March, maybe this year or something. And that study was the effects of Universal Basic Income. So what they did is they got 30 people and they just gave them £1,600 a month to spend. And they had to spend that £1,600 a month. Now, what do you think? What do you think the outcome of that study is going to be? When they go to those people and they say, right, mate, for the last 2 years, I've given you £1,600. How did you feel? What do you think that person's going to say? Do you think that person's going to say, oh, do you know what? It was the worst thing. It was the worst thing. It lowered my living conditions. It was rubbish. Do you think they're going to say that? Or do you think they're going to say things like, oh, it got rid of anxiety, it got rid of stress, it was fantastic to have that security? And those people are only going to say good things. And then that's going to put into, I'd say that's already in a report. That report will be sent to someone, and that information now will be sat on someone's desk. And they'll be looking at that and thinking, oh, right, yeah, it's all a good thing. It's all good. But the problems don't come at the prototyping stage or the initial phases. The problems come when this is put out en masse to people, and everybody in the United Kingdom now, because we're broken, because small businesses are broken, everybody has now downloaded the digital ID, because you get 1,000. If you download the digital ID, guys, we're not forcing you, but if you download the digital ID, you get £1,600 a month on it. Let's just go with that. We're talking about Universal Basic Income. If you download Universal Basic Income, you get £1,600 on your universal income, your whatever it is, your digital ID or whatever, and you can spend that in whatever shops you decide. But we decide what shops can take that money, so we're deciding really. And then the next thing comes when there's, for example, if there was another pandemic, Of course, there's not going to be, because we all keep 6 feet apart now. So there was another pandemic, and then they said, right, yeah, you've got to take this. You've got to take this medication. If you don't, obviously, we're gonna, it's critical to the safety of. It's safe and effective. You've got to take this medication, and if you don't, we're not gonna continue your universal basic income. Or if anybody's seen in around this area, then you will not get your universal basic income. If anybody protests on Wednesday against the government, you're not going to get your universal basic income. As soon as that happens, you don't even need a police force, because we are our own police force. You imprison yourself, and we are our own prison. We've imprisoned ourselves, and we're our own inmates. That's what happens, guys. And as soon as you take money off someone, you work for them. Believe me, guys. Believe me. I know this. As soon as you take money from someone, you work for them. So if you take money from a small business, you work for that small business. They tell you what to do. That's how it works. If you take money from the government, they tell you what to do, and that's how it works. Now, the problem is, do you trust? Do we have trust? I would say we're in a low trust society right now. You only have to look at the streets. If you're a woman right now, guys, if you're a woman right now, if you're a woman right now, would you feel safe walking home alone through, Manchester city centre at midnight? Would you feel safe? Slim here saying, any unspent credits will be reclaimed at the end of the month. You won't be able to save it. No, you won't. Absolutely not. Because they will want to keep this economy going. They will want to keep the economy driving, and they will want all that money spent so that cash can keep flowing. That cash can keep flowing. That big circle can keep flowing. And then from that, people will take their percentages, businesses, profit, whatever, and that cash will keep going, and it will just be a cycle. Yeah, 100%. You will have to spend that money within the month. Donna is saying, I wouldn't feel safe, but fuck around and find out is all I'm saying. Laurie Hill is saying, no, not at all. No, not at all would I feel safe or do it alone. And that's the reality, guys. When I go to Ukraine, I've not been for a while. I think I'm planning a trip at the end of this month. When I go to Kiev, you can walk around Kiev at midnight, 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, and you feel safe. Yes, every now and then there's a kaboomer coming in from the direction of the Russians, but you feel safe on the streets. There's no gangs wearing balaclavas. There's just people walking around, civilized. I remember that, when I first went to Ukraine in 2014. I think I first went out to Ukraine in 2014. I thought I would be there for a week. I ended up staying there for 6 months, having 2 weeks off and going straight back out. When I first came back from Ukraine in I don't know when it was. I was in Ukraine, right? And just across from my apartment, I used to live on a street called Malo Zhytomyska, which is just off Mikhaileska. And if any of you guys have been to Kiev, that's near O'Brien's bar. Anyway, just across the road from me, there was, I think it was called something like Cinema. It was some random numbers, like Cinema 942 or something. And this was an outdoor cinema. It was operating 24 hours, but it was like an outdoor cinema, and they'd play a movie on a big screen, and you could go in there any time of day, 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. You could lounge around they had it was like soft, go on. What's the word I'm looking for? It was like matted flooring, like jiu-jitsu mats or something, but not. It was like, you could go and you could just lounge around on like a beanbag. You had these little tables and everybody was laid down watching a movie. That like 1, 2, and there was no fighting. You know, nobody was like trying to swizzle anyone. And you could go there and get like, I don't know, like a shashlik or some kebab or something. And I came back to the UK after like 6 months, and I went to my local pub. And when I walked in there was 2 girls in Ugg boots, and they were fighting on the dance floor, and one had just headbutted the other one. You know the meme how the guy goes in and he's looking around at all these things, and he's like, oh. I was kind of like that, you know. So there was these 2 girls fighting on the dance floor. They were wearing Ugg boots, and one had headbutted the other, and they were swinging each other around. And I was like, oh right, okay, well I'm back in the UK now. I walked a little bit further into the bar, and there was like a round table. There was a guy on all fours barking like a dog, going, oh, 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 and I was like, wow. This is like a culture shock for me. This is like a massive culture shock now. You know, and people wonder, and people wonder why I'm saying, you know, if you live in the United Kingdom, get out now. You know, there are places, you know, you can go to the parts of the world and you will be respected. You will not have to pay taxes through your teeth. Things won't cost you, like things are not ridiculously expensive, you know, and life is good in other parts of the world. Oh, deepest, darkest, he said, I have a friend. He keeps going back to Ukraine. He's been wounded twice. When he gone, I have to look after his dog. My friend had to look after one of my friends had to look after my chickens while I was away. Hang on, guys. Let me get... Izzy B Allen is saying absolutely not, and I think that was in response to, if you're a girl, would you feel safe walking alone 12 o'clock walking home through Manchester? That's the reality, guys. That is the reality of the United Kingdom right now. That is the country. That's the country we've paid for this, guys. That is the country that we're paying our taxes for. Hang on. Helen is saying, Donna is saying, I've grown up with 5 brothers who fought with me daily basis. Right, listen, guys, the crux of this live stream, you know, if you live in the United Kingdom, I don't see anything good coming to the United Kingdom. If you live in the UK right now, you know, and you have the means, get out now. What do I mean by that? Move to another country. I know a lot of people are like, hang on, guys. I know a lot, not that one. I know a lot of people who are 50-50, you know, sat on the fence. And what I just want to say is, like, you know, if you are sat on the fence right now, just get out now, because nothing good is coming. Really, nothing good is coming to the United Kingdom. There's this new article out this morning talking about the UK must prepare buildings for a 2 degrees C rise in global temperatures. Do you know what that's going to lead to? Do you know where that's going? What they're going to do with that one is they're going to say, right, okay, all buildings now have to have this level of insulation. And that's going to cost an absolute fortune. So now they're devaluing houses, because if you want to buy or if you want to sell a house, basically, you're going to have your house up to that standard. You're going to have your house up to that efficiency standard. So what that's going to do is, like, all those people who don't get out now, and once this new legislation's passed, this new crazy legislation, and your house is, say your house is worth, I don't know, no, say your house is worth $1 million now, whatever, $1 million, 100, doesn't matter. Say your house is worth 100 grand or whatever, you know, the government will say, right, yeah, the United buildings in the UK must prepare for this temperature rise. You need to insulate your houses. So what that's going to do is it's going to force people now to have to spend a lot of money insulating their house. And honestly, guys, we live in an old detached Victorian stone building. I don't know how much it would cost a lot for me to insulate our house. Anyway, so what they'll do then is they'll say, right, we're having a shake-up, and because of this, because of global warming, you're not allowed, well, you're not allowed to sell your house, or you have to pay an extra, or all houses have to have this level of insulation. And they'll do that, and that will be on the house sellers, because remember, they don't want people to move in and do it. They want those houses to go cheap. They want to destroy people's homes, and they are coming after our homes now, ladies and gentlemen. They're coming after our homes. I mean, how do buildings, like, surely, if the temperature's going up, that means I don't have to have my heating on for as long, doesn't it? I don't know, guys. Anyway, absolutely, yeah. I think they're coming after our houses. I think that's what they're going to say. They're going to say houses need to have more insulation or something. And then in that context, that's going to be a way to get people to pay more, and it's going to bring down house properties. But if it's relative, I don't know, guys. That's where I think that's going. Nowhere A is, oh, hang on a minute. A is saying 2030, own nothing and be happy. Nowhere left to run. Look, guys, all these things that are happening, it is going to lead to a mass exodus of Western culture to Antarctica. Antarctica is the only place to run, guys. I've been talking about this for quite a while. I've been doing videos on this for quite a while. Alex Jones has started to do a few videos on it. I don't know whether he's watching me or not. I think the likelihood is low, but it may be there. He may be watching me. Lisa Jane is saying, I heard a lot of landlords of private houses are having work done to their houses and using tenants on universal credit so they get the work paid for through the government. I don't know how that works. I don't know how that works. Lexa is saying, I've got friends who moved to Australia. They're moving back, said it's just the same as here in the United Kingdom, except it's hot. I mean, I would take it. Yeah, guys, look, this is what's happening in the UK is happening to most other countries. You go to Paris, go to Paris with your wife or your girlfriend or both, or your husband or whatever, or your boyfriend. You know, go to Paris and have a romantic weekend in Paris, all right, and have a picture taken in front of that. What's the thing? I want to say Paris Tower, the Eiffel Tower, the Eiffel Tower. We're going to have a picture in front of the Eiffel Tower. It's not as picturesque as you guys are imagining. Yeah, and you know, this brings me on to what I was saying before. There's Antarctica, guys. There's going to be a mass exodus to Antarctica. Maybe, do you know what, guys? Maybe it's going to just be the rich that go to Antarctica and people who kind of, you know, that's actually what it's going to be, isn't it? You know, it's going to be the rich and people who can afford the new world in Antarctica. And then after Antarctica, once we've got people, Western culture in Antarctica, then we're going to go to space, then we're going to go to the moon, then we're going to go to Mars, then we're going to have human life extension. Ladies and gentlemen, that is coming as well. Human life extension is coming. I think if you can live another 50 years, you're pretty much going to live forever. I know these things are wild, guys. I know these things are wild. Helen is saying, I'm single and happy with it. Well, I don't know, Helen. Maybe go to Antarctica, not Antarctica. Maybe go to Paris. Maybe go to Paris on your own and have a selfie. John Thistlethwaite is saying, Sean, you are looking for the words Blackpool Tower. Yeah, I was thinking about Blackpool Tower, but it's the one in Paris, the Eiffel Tower. Space is fake. The Earth is fake. Earth is flat. It's all a scam. Right. Okay. So if space is fake, what's above us? Like, what's above us if space is fake? I don't think it is, guys. I don't think space is fake. Donna is saying we will all be frozen in pods and wake up in 2300. Evolution, dinosaurs. Didn't an asteroid take out the dinosaurs? I'm pretty sure that's what happened. Look, guys, maybe it didn't. I don't know. I'm not old enough to remember it. Slim is saying the North Pole is closer. We could go there and freeze for less money. The North Pole is closer, but the South Pole is better. The South Pole's better because you can't walk to the North. You can't walk to the South Pole. You can't. You need to get ships and stuff. So the Antarctica is defensible. You can defend Antarctica. Tracy McKibben says, wasn't putting cough in a hot mic comment talking about organ replacement to live longer? Wasn't Putin caught in a hot mic moment talking about organ replacement to live longer? No, what I'm talking about, guys, with I'm not going to get onto it now. I may do if you guys want, I may do I might do a TikTok video on it. Human life extension is real. It all comes about your telomeres and to extend your telomeres. So, to shorten this, guys, when people are growing, you're growing, you're getting healthier and fitter. Now, everybody peaks at different ages. I don't think I've peaked yet. Some people peak in their 20s. Some people it doesn't matter. What I'm saying is, you get to a peak adult health or maturity or whatever, and then as your cells start to replicate, your telomeres shorten, and then your cells replicate, and the new copy is a lesser copy of the old copy. That's why people get old. Now, there are animals. This doesn't need to happen. This does not need to happen. I think about the replicants on what's the movie with the replicants? Blade Runner. The replicants on Blade Runner, they don't need to die, but it's born into them. So, science, guys, this is well understood technology. Scientists can keep those telomeres longer. And what would happen is, if you was like 60, or if you was like 90, and you could then lengthen your telomeres over time, you would grow fitter, stronger, younger, back to your prime, because that's what you would do. The next time your cell replicated, instead of it being a lesser copy, it will be a stronger copy. And this technology is well understood. It's well understood. The problem with that is, once you start manipulating telomeres and cell divisions, that's when you're looking at things like cancer. Now, I think it will be done in our lifetime. If you can deal with the threat of cancer, you deal with eternal life, guys. That is it. That technology is out there. It's well understood. What I'm saying isn't speculation. So I do think everything that's happening now, and I know I'm going off on a side quest, guys. Everything that's happening now, I do like global conflict on an industrial scale, all this craziness. I think there's going to be a mass population drop, and then life extension. And then, so if you can survive the next 30, 50 years, I do think you've got a good likelihood of living forever. I know that's wild. Slim is saying Soros has had like 3 hearts and 2 livers. How'd the other half live? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe he's just points to something. I want his heart. He has a very strong heart. Didn't that happen on that Jason Statham movie? I think there was a movie with Jason Statham where somebody wanted his heart because he was really fit. Two sides is saying our true currency is time, and that even seems like it's running out. Priv Caro is saying, I'm a little behind on the live, but in Norway, they are trying to push that they want all houses to upgrade and get better insulation, and then talking about our fireplaces. Yeah, this is coming, guys. This is coming. We're all going to have to do it. And it's just another way to get money, just another way to get money off people. Right, ladies and gentlemen, listen, guys, I am going to close this live stream down now. Thank you for hanging out with me this morning, guys. I really do appreciate it. I'll be back on later today at 8. The crux of this live stream, guys, you know, if you live in the United Kingdom, I know I keep saying this, like, get out now. Really, like, nothing good is coming to the United Kingdom, guys. It really isn't. And if it is, if something's good that's coming to the United Kingdom and you're aware of it, please share that with us, because I can't see it, guys. I really can't. All I can see coming is tax, war, migration, and people enslaving themselves. Literally, us enslaving ourselves, you know, and doing that to ourselves. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, guys, thank you so much. Can you share my stuff? Can you guys share my stuff? I really appreciate it when you guys share my stuff. And make sure, if you've not done so already, guys, hit those buttons down below, the like, the subscribe, bell notification. Really helps me out when you guys do that. I'll see you guys later.